Before you start lesson 53, make sure you complete test K in the test masters on powers and roots. Lesson 53 is about multiplying rates, and you just have to think of these rates as unit multipliers. That's the best way to think about doing these problems. Remember, if you need to refresh your memory, go back to lesson 50 and work some of those unit multiplier problems that we did there. That'll help you understand these. Now let's look at this practice problem that I have here. It says that the sanctuary had 11 rows. There were 42 seats per row. A says write the two rates given by this statement. And so think about what I just said there. You just think of rates as unit multipliers. So there's two rates given by that statement of 42 seats per row. We can have this one, 42 seats per one row, or we can have this rate, one row per, our fraction bar means per 42 seats. Those are the two rates that we can use or have given that statement of 42 seats per row. Now in B, they want us to find the total number of seats. Well, we had 11 rows in the sanctuary, so we write down, just like a unit multiplier problem, we write down that value that's been given, and in essence, we're changing units, right? We're changing from rows to seats, so we need a unit multiplier of seats per row in order to do that. We multiply this by 42 seats per one row. For every row there are 42 seats. The rows cancel and we'll end up with 11 times 42, which is equal to 462. Our units are important here, so we need to write those. 462 seats. Anytime you're doing a problem that deals with a rate like this or unit multipliers, the units are half of your answer. If you just wrote 462 down, then that problem would be half right. Likewise, if you got the numerical part wrong, like if you had 387 or something, but you got the units right, you said 387 seats, then you still get half credit on the problem. Rate problems like this, you can work them just like unit multiplier problems. You just have to make a unit multiplier out of the rate. Let's do one more rate problem. Let's read that statement. A car could travel 25 miles on 1 gallon of gas. So in C, we want to write the two rates given by that statement, and in D, we want to figure out how many gallons would it take to go 600 miles. Okay, well first let's write our two rates. 25 miles on 1 gallon. Well, that means we could say 25 miles per gallon, per 1 gallon, or 1 gallon per 25 miles. When you're doing a rate like that, you're basically representing equal quantities. 25 miles equals 1 gallon of gas, or 25 miles of travel in 1 gallon of gas, with 1 gallon of gas. Or you use 1 gallon for 25 miles. Now we want to know how many gallons would it take to go 600 miles. So just like any unit multiplier problem, we write down what's given first, 600 miles, and we know we want to convert that to gallons because that's the question. How many gallons would it take to go that far? 600 miles. Okay, so we take 25 miles over 1 gallon, but that wouldn't work. We have to cancel the miles. So miles has to be on the bottom of our unit multiplier. 1 gallon over 25 miles. Now we haven't really worked with the problem yet where we had a number other than 1 in the denominator. Remember what we can do on these. We can always think of that 600 miles as a fraction by just putting it 600 over 1. Cancel our units. We canceled our miles. And we're left with gallons. So think about what we have here. As far as numbers, we have 600 times 1 in the numerator, which is 600, over 1 times 25, which is 25 gallons. 600 divided by 25 happens to equal 24. So we can say 24 gallons. That's our answer. Rate problems, you use that rate as a unit multiplier. You use it to convert from one unit to another. You always make sure that your units are canceling. That's why it's so important that you write those unit multipliers out. Write down what's given first, multiplied by your unit multiplier. Make sure your units cancel. They don't cancel unless there's 1 in the numerator, 1 in the denominator. Okay, well that's all for lesson 53.